Welcome to Soulfire Wisdom with Kate Olson. As an evolving spirit and change adventure navigator, it is Kate's mission to empower and guide you on your path and inspire your truest passions. She will encourage you to share your gifts, speak your truth, and ignite your inner wisdom and purpose. She hopes to do so with a little humor and grace and her own soulfire passion. Kate talks with amazing guests who have embraced the pursuit and are fanning the flames of their own passion, purpose, and soulfire wisdom. Now here's your host, Kate.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Soulfire Wisdom and Tips, Tricks, and Triumphs Tuesday. So, if this is your first time listening, I'm a hypnotherapist, a life coach, an NLP practitioner, and a Reiki master. But I like to call myself a change adventure navigator because I love guiding people through obstacles and adversity to find their path, purpose, and peace, and hopefully a little soulfire wisdom along the way. So, today I want to talk for just a minute about habits. People this week I've gotten a lot, well, not this week because this week just started, but in the last week I've gotten a lot of people wanting to get rid of bad habits. And so I'm going to share one of the secrets about getting rid of bad habits. And trying to get rid of something is kind of like trying to prove a negative. So, it's a lot easier if you try to create good habits rather than trying to get rid of bad habits. If you, like, for instance, eating habits are one big thing that people struggle with a lot, and a lot of people try to force themselves not to do the things that they don't want to do, like not eating sweets or not eating particular foods or eating less food. But it's a lot easier if you try to do things that are good for you instead. Like one of the habits that I have done myself is trying to eat 5 servings of fruits and vegetables. I don't tell myself I can't have anything, but I just tell myself I'm going to eat 5 servings of fruits or vegetables. And then after I do that, I can have whatever I want. But if you eat 5 servings of fruits and vegetables, you find that you're not really that hungry anymore, or you're not craving those sweets and things. So you just kind of naturally fill up that space. And over time, if you start feeling better, that uh, habit that you're creating, that good habit of eating 5 servings of fruits and vegetables, replaces the bad habit of snacking on things that you probably shouldn't eat. So anyway, that's my tip and secret about habits for today. We have a great show planned. My guest is Victoria Sexton. And Victoria is a financial coach and a believer in abundance, gratitude, and investing in yourself. She helps successful people make their money effortless so they can stop stressing and achieve their goals. She provides her clients with straight talk financial information, education, and strategies that give them the confidence to take control of their financial future. And I met Victoria a while ago when we were both in the same place up in Washington at a networking group. And now I'm in Arizona and she's in California and we're doing different things. Um, so I saw what she was doing on Facebook, and that um, was a little bit different than what she'd been doing when I met her. So I kind of took notice and followed what she was doing, and um, noticed that she was really passionate about it. So I'm happy to have her here today. Hi, Victoria. How are you?
Hi, I'm well. How are you doing?
Pretty good. So, to start things off, since I just gave a little synopsis there about you, can you tell people a little bit more about your background and what led you to your current path?
Yeah, so I have pretty much my entire adult life, I've worked with money in some way, shape, or form. For a long time, I worked corporate America, and my last position before opening my own business, I was a financial advisor, and I found that it was I felt like it was close, like in the neighborhood of what I should be doing, but I felt like it wasn't the thing. And finally, last year, I realized I had like this calling to help people, and more specifically, like help women with their money on a deeper level. And so that's when I started my coaching practice.
Okay, so why should people focus on a financial plan even when they don't have any money?
Um, Well, that's a great question. I think that there's two parts to your money. One, there's your mindset and how you tap into your abundance and gratitude and all of those things. And then there is the practical side of your money. So I think for a lot of people, especially when you're in a position, like I know a lot of people who have gotten laid off this year, as opposed to last year. So when you're in a position where you're struggling with your money, it can be really hard to make a plan. But actually, now is a perfect opportunity for people to say, what do I really want to be doing? And what do I want my money to do for me? Because, like, let's say you have a big goal let's say I've always wanted to, I don't know, live in Alaska. I'm just totally making this up. And, but living in Alaska requires that you, I don't know, A, B, C, and D, do these things. Um, I'm a big believer in just going after your dreams, but you also have to know the pragmatic end of it too. So, where I know some people get stuck right now is they feel like, well, since I don't have any money, I shouldn't even bother. But I think this is a really good opportunity for people to do some of that inner work that's required in order for you to um, do the actual practical money work as well. So I still think it's a good opportunity for people.
So, money is one of the biggest things that stresses people out. And you say that you make money effortless. So, tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I the reason I actually came up with this system, I call it my effortless money system, is I just felt, and I don't know, I'm sure other people feel this way after 2020 and having to homeschool my 10-year-old and deal with like so many things going on in the world. I've just been tired. I'm just gonna be straight with you. I've been really tired. And the one thing that I felt like my private coaching clients needed was they needed someone to tell it to them straight, and they needed it to be easy, and they needed it to not, whatever I was working on with them, they needed to be not judgmental, um, and inspiring. So I thought about it. I was like, everyone needs this effortless money. They need just something that's super simple that they can use as a guide. I think that at times we think that money needs to be complicated, and it can, when you're talking about investments and things like that. But I think that when we simplify our money, that um, that is the first step in simplifying our life. If we can really make it easy for us to navigate what's happening with our finances, it's only going to benefit us in the future.
So, what do you mean by living in abundance? And, you know, how can we do that? It seems like it would be not the same for everyone.
Yeah, it probably isn't the same for everyone. Um, what I mean by that is having an abundance mentality. As a businesswoman, I really feel like there's enough of everything to go around. So, and that's my definition of having an abundance mentality is, um, there's enough work for me. There's enough clients for me. There's enough money. There's enough everything that I need. And the opposite of that is really a scarcity mentality, which kind of does put people, like, you can easily go down the rabbit hole and be like, and let fear take over and be like, I'm afraid that, there aren't enough clients. I'm afraid that I have to hustle super hard to get this client, or maybe lower my prices, and I feel like that's when things start to go off the rails a little bit. So for me, that, like, abundance starts with, there's enough money, enough resources, enough everything that I will need.
Okay. So, what if you have no idea what to do with your money? Uh, and I think that's, it sounds funny, but I think that's you know fairly common. So, where does somebody start?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's actually, most of my clients are women who are really successful and they're great at their job and they make good money, but they have no idea what to do with it. Um, I start with, like, what are your big dreams? For some people, that is, I want to live in Australia. I want to own this kind of business. We all have something that maybe we haven't even said out loud, that's been a little dream of ours, maybe since we've been a kid, that we wanted to do. And I think it's worth exploring those things to, because if that's your dream, I think that you should do it. So, that's the first place, is like, what are your big dreams? And then we look at goals and what are your plans? And these things all line up um, in terms of an action plan, and what are we actually going to do with your money? Um, the one thing I would recommend to anyone who, like, has no idea what to do, and if anyone wants a copy of this, I can email it. I call it my financial snapshot. Um, and it's just to get an idea of, like, what are your numbers? Most people don't even have any idea of their numbers in terms of, what's your income versus your expenses? What are your assets? How much do you owe in credit card debt? And those types of things can be really empowering and also really overwhelming for people at the same time. But unless you look at your numbers, you won't know how to get where you want to go, right? So I would say, if someone just has no clue at all, just start by compiling your numbers and seeing where you stand.
So, is investing the best choice for everybody? Should everybody invest, or what's?
I think investing is a really personal decision. Um, I love investing, as because I used to be a financial advisor, and then actually my dad taught me how to invest in the stock market when I was a teenager. So I love investing. I think that my biggest concern right now for people is inflation and the cost of food. And both of like the cost of food has gone up. I've read about 3 to 5% just even in the past year. Most people haven't gotten a salary increase to account for that. I'm also really concerned about inflation. Investing combats both of those things. And you can invest in the stock market, you can invest in real estate, in cryptocurrency, and like a lot of things that I don't know anything else. I'm not a cryptocurrency person. So that's not my specialty. But um, what I think is that people should look for a way to be making money from your money, because having your money sit in a bank in the long run isn't going to do you any good, because you're not making money on your money, and your bank's that using your money to do other things, right? So I think that investing is really personal, and this is one of the reasons why I teach my clients how to invest, because um, I think that if you're working with an advisor, a lot of times people can say, my advisor told me that I should buy this. But it's such a personal decision that I think it's better if we understand what we're getting into, and then we can do it ourselves. And then we don't have to pay an advisor as well.
So, how can you budget if you have more months than money? And I think everybody, if they're not in that situation now, almost everybody has experienced it at one time or another.
Yeah. Um, this is where I think, again, going back to looking at your numbers is really helpful. Um, I think you need to know how much your expenses exceed your income. And because the goal is really for me every month for my clients is, first of all, are you in the black? Are you meeting all of your expenses? And then what are we doing with the additional cash? Those are things that we look at. But for those who and right now a lot of Americans are having a hard time paying their bills. So I think this is a lot of people. Um, how can we either increase our income or decrease our expenses, or both? And right now, I think it's an interesting time to do this. I know that there are a lot of opportunities online. There's still a lot of opportunities that like are just at your fingertips with your phone. Like if you like dogs, maybe the Rover app where you can walk dogs is something that you could do once or twice a day as a way to bring in extra cash. But I think um, having an understanding of the fact that your numbers are just a starting point, and you get to choose how you're going to either increase your income or decrease your expenses, or both. I think that's when it's empowering. um, the numbers that you have on the paper aren't, it's not forever, it's just the current status.
So, what's the biggest challenge you encounter as a financial coach?
I think there's two types of challenges. One is um, I think that a lot of the people that I have worked with, um, they are so good at what they do, but they feel like they're still not very good at money, which logically doesn't doesn't make a whole lot of sense, right? And this is one of the reasons why I work specifically with women, because we are so brilliant in so many ways, but we can't see our own brilliance in relation to our money. Maybe because we don't have the lingo down, or we don't know what something is specifically. So that's the mindset piece of it. And then it also, in regards to work that I've done with my clients, like, it can be really overwhelming to try to get into something financial and like start to read the Wall Street Journal when you've never done it before, because the lingo and the verbiage does look really confusing at first. So it can be hard to get started and to feel empowered at first. But I'm really big on just getting momentum, just starting with some baby steps, because we're never going to feel feel like we're ready to do it. It's my experience. You only feel like you're ready after you've done it.
What if you don't like money? Like maybe
One of the
that's why
things
you don't
that
want to read the Wall Street Journal, because you don't want to learn all that lingo, because you want the security and things that money can get, but you don't really like money that much. What would you say to somebody who said that?
I would say, I think it's important that anyone who's reevaluating either how much money they have, or what their money is doing for them, is to think about what they want from their money. Some people are all about the money, and other people could care less. I know people that, like, they have a teacher's pension and they've got everything they need in their 800 square foot house, and they're super happy. And other people who, they want the big house and they want the fancy car and they want all of the things. And both of those types of people have a certain dynamic with their money. So I would say, what do you want from your money? And if you just want, hey, and you're just that teacher with the pension, and you're like, I just want stability for the next 20 years. Okay, maybe what you're doing with your money is already providing that. But it's important to know. It's like people I talk with who say that they want more money. I feel like that's such a answer that everyone says, I want more money. But why do we want more money? Maybe what you want is not more money. Maybe you want more flexibility or freedom or whatever.
And what do I have to do to get it?
Yeah, exactly.
Because if they were just giving out free money, a lot of people would go line up. But sometimes the things that you need to do to get the money, you don't want to do.
Right. The one thing that I do talk with clients a lot is getting back to your question about, like, people who just like aren't that interested in money. A lot of times I work with clients who, they say things, they're like, I care less, but then they want more money. And there's an incongruency, meaning that they do want more money on paper, but like from an energetic and emotional standpoint, like, they're like, I don't know about this money, right? So that's something that I chat with clients all the time about, is, what do we really want?
Yes, and I think that's important. I actually have some friends um, who they are having a debate about money, the husband and wife. I might refer them to you because they need to clarify what they want from their money. They just sold their house and they're moving to um, a smaller house or downsizing, and there's a big debate going on. So maybe you can help them with that. So
Yeah, and that happens a lot with couples because, we're two individuals, right? And so it's almost like sometimes we need three sets of goals, like mine, his, ours, because we are individuals. We do want different things as individuals sometimes.
yes, and sometimes it's knowing what you really want, because um, as a friend, I would like to give them some advice, having seen, their past history. But being a friend, I, can't really do that.
Hmm.
They need an objective outside voice, basically, who can,
Yeah.
um, because it sounds personal. It sounds like criticism if you, as a friend, if you question, like past decisions, or, you know, something that may have caused financial distress in the past.
Hmm.
And so that's where someone who's a financial coach can be helpful. I think anyway. That's so you started a group called the Wealthy Women's Club. Um, what's that about, and who is it for?
Yeah, so I started a group. It's on Facebook, and I wanted a place where women could come together and learn about financial topics, and I wanted it to be um, someplace where it's like purely a state of learning. So no judgment if you have no idea what anything is, if you have if you're like, I don't know what an IRA means, but I think I need it, but I'm not too sure. So I host trainings a couple times a month. I host a book club. I always pick a book about money, and so I have book club once a month. And it's a free group on Facebook because I wanted a place where people could just come and learn, and learn something new, and also ask questions if they needed to.
Okay. And she gives away some free resources sometimes. so,
That's right. Yeah.
so you're just right now in the process of writing a book, or about to release a book. Um, can you tell us a little bit about that and when it'll be available?
Yes. So my book, it's called Effortless Money: How to Align Your Wealth and Your Woo, and it's coming out July 15th. And I'm very excited about it because this book has been on my mind for a little while now. And really, what it's about is some of these things that we've already talked about, which is knowing what you want from your money, and the whole concept of effortless money, and why we should give ourselves a break and make things easier on ourselves, and how can we do that. So that's what I delve into in the book, is really how can we make our money easier so that we don't have to spend as much time on it and stress about it as much, and it just becomes less of a thing that we end up getting heartburn over.
Okay, and when do you expect that to be available?
My launch date is July 15th.
Okay, great. And you said it was called Effortless Money?
Effortless Money: How to Align Your Wealth and Your Woo.
Okay, Great. Yeah, that's when I met Victoria, and this is the other side of her. Um, I had her write an article for me on essential oils, which is something that she does, and she actually makes her own. So there's a whole different non-financial side to her.
That's right.
So this is a question that's kind of, it seems like it's off the topic, but I've been asking all my guests for a while. So what has surprised you most about life so far?
What surprised me most about life so far? Um, I I don't know why this surprises me, but I think that um, life really is what you make of it. Um, we all come from diverse backgrounds, and the people who I know who are truly happy, because like anytime I see someone who's really just loving life and so happy, I have to, dig in and ask them some questions. The people that I know that are truly happy, they have just said, you know what? Maybe I didn't come from the best background, or maybe their circumstances haven't been fantastic, but they've been determined, they've known what they've wanted, and they've had a positive outlook on life. And I think that that's really important.
Definitely. Okay. So we're getting close to the end of our time. If you could leave the listeners with one thought from today's show, what would you want that to be?
Yeah, I think that we have the power to change our lives for the better in regards to our financial situation. So, whatever situation that you are in, if you're not happy there, you can change it. And where you are today doesn't necessarily mean you have to be in the same place a year from now. And sometimes that requires a little bit of work, and also inner work and introspection, but it can be done. And so for people who you want to be in a different place, yeah, it's possible.
Definitely. And it's amazing when you finally figure that out. That's
Yeah.
yeah. So okay, so if the listeners want to get in touch with you or join your group or um, find you, how would they do that?
They can go to victoriasexton.com. I am there, or I'm also on Instagram and Facebook under Victoria Sexton Financial Coach. And anyone who would like to join the Wealthy Girls Club, they can. So if you search Wealthy Girls Club on Facebook, you will find it.
Okay, great. I want to thank you for being here today and talking about this. I know it is always a topic that people are interested in. I know, as you said, it's one of the biggest things that people stress about. So it's good to get rid of
Thank you
that
so much
stress.
for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay. Um, we have another great show planned for next week. Next week, my guest will be Coralie Kuhlman. And Coralie calls herself the Come Alive Coach. And she just released a trilogy of books, her Come Alive series. And she's a life coach, and we're going to find out what that's all about. That she wrote 3 books on it, and I I'm kind of intrigued about the whole come alive concept. So tune in next week, 3 p.m. on Tuesday, and that's Pacific time. I have a quote, a couple quotes actually, uh, for you to carry with you through your week. And these are with regard to finances. And the first one is, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. And that was said by Benjamin Franklin. And then I will tell you the secret to getting rich on Wall Street. You try to be greedy when others are fearful, and you try to be fearful when others are greedy. And that was said by Warren Buffett. So,
Mm.
both very wise gentlemen. So, maybe they know something. So, thank you all for listening. And I'm just going to say bye for now. And thank you again, Victoria.
Thank you so much.
Listening to Soul Fire Wisdom with Kate Olson. We hope you enjoyed the show. If we made you laugh, brightened your day, or sparked a new thought, we have succeeded in our mission. Join us next time when we'll share more secrets and truths and all the magic of transformation that is the journey to Soul Fire Wisdom. Always remember, be fierce in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire.